Okay, so in the last session, we were discussed about the static friction and is the frictional force which is arises when one object which is in a state of rest over the surface of another object. That is what is known as static friction. And we discussed about limiting friction. What do you mean by limiting friction? It is the maximum value of static friction. Okay, up to that friction, what happens? The object is shows a tendency to move, or the maximum value of static friction is known as limiting friction. So my next question, what happens if you are applying an external force which is greater than that of this limiting friction? If you are applying an external force to the body which is in a state of rest, we are applying and it has a maximum, it possesses a maximum value of static friction, or that friction is known as limiting friction. Okay, so if you are applying an external force which is greater than that of this limiting friction, what happens to the object? Yes, the motion occurs. The object started to move on the surface of the another object. Okay, so when an object moves over the surface of another object, there is a force of friction acting between them. That friction is known as kinetic friction. So all of you write the next heading, kinetic friction. We know that we have different types of friction. The type of sliding friction is over. Now we are going to discuss about kinetic friction. Static friction is over. Now the next topic is kinetic friction. Kinetic friction. Static friction, as its name implies, it's a stationary. The friction which is arises between if the object rests on the surface of another object. But kinetic friction, this is a frictional force, or it is a frictional force which arises between is a frictional force which arises when one object moves over the surface of another object. When we are heard about kinetic energy related with that of the motion of an object. Similarly, here we have kinetic friction. So it's a friction which arises when one object moves over the surface of another object is known as kinetic friction. This is a frictional force which arises when one object moves over the surface of another object. Okay, we can just compare the terms of static friction and that of the kinetic friction. Static friction is represented by Fs. Then students try to guess how we can represent kinetic friction.
Fk.
Fk. Kinetic friction is represented by Fk. F suffix K. Okay. So kinetic friction is represented by Fk. Kinetic friction is the frictional force arises when one object moves over the surface of another object. Such type of frictional force is known as kinetic friction. Or when one object moves on the surface of another object, a force of friction acting between them, that friction is known as kinetic friction. It is represented by the letter Fk. Okay, now we can discuss what are the characteristics of static friction. Characteristics of static friction. It is the force that resists the motion of one body over another with which it is in contact. This is the first characteristics. Kinetic friction is a force that resists the motion of one body over the surface of another body in which it is in contact. It is denoted by the letter Fk. And the third characteristics, as motion starts. So if the object is initially in a state of rest, but whenever we are applying an external force and the object is started to move. So if the motion starts, what happens? Fs vanishes. That is, the static friction vanishes away and kinetic friction appears. Because static friction is a frictional force which arises when one object is in a state of rest over the surface of another object. But if you are applying an external force which is greater than that of the limiting friction, then the object started to move. If the object starts its motion, static friction vanishes, kinetic friction appears. So these are the three characteristics of kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is a force that resists the motion of one body over the surface of another body in which it is in contact. It is denoted by the letter Fk. And the third characteristics, as the motion starts, static friction, Fs is nothing, it is our static friction, it vanishes, it disappears. And who appears there? Kinetic friction started to appear. So these are the three characteristics of the kinetic friction. Here you can see the ball initially in a state of rest. Okay. And it reaches its maximum limiting friction whenever we are applying an external force which is greater than that of this limiting friction. Ball started to move. So here we can say Fs disappears because here the ball is in a state of motion. Static friction is a friction which is related with that of the object which is in a state of rest. But here the ball is in motion. So Fs disappears and Fk appears. Okay, so these are the characteristics of kinetic friction. So as we told earlier in the case of static friction, here we are going to define the laws of kinetic friction. So write the next heading, laws of kinetic friction. Laws of kinetic friction. The first one, kinetic friction is a constant. Laws of kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is a constant. Kinetic friction is a constant. And it depends on the nature of the surface. It depends on nature of surfaces in contact. Kinetic friction is a constant, and that constant value of kinetic friction depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay. For example, we can say the kinetic friction Fk. Fk is a constant. The value of kinetic friction is a constant, but it depends upon the nature of the surface in contact. This is the first law of kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is a constant, and that constant value of kinetic friction depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. And here also you can mention it depends on the nature of surfaces in contact, and as similar to that of the static friction, it is independent on the area of the surface. Independent on area of surfaces. This is the first law. Kinetic friction is a constant value. Kinetic friction possesses a constant value. That constant value of kinetic friction depends on the nature of the surface in which it is contact, but it is independent of the area of contact. First law, which is same as that of the law of static friction. Now the second law. Is it over? Okay, second law. The value of kinetic friction, directly proportional to the reacting force. The value of kinetic friction is directly proportional to the reacting force. Acting on the object. The value of kinetic friction is directly proportional to the reacting force acting on the object. Now you have an idea about reacting force or the reaction force. Reacting force or reaction force. What do you mean by reaction force? Anyone? Reaction force.
Word force acting on an object.
Yes, it is the force which is acting on an object vertically upwards. And what about its direction? Yes, Meherin?
Opposite.
Direction is normal to the surface of the object.
Yes, it is. Its direction is normal to the surface of the object. So this reaction force is also known as normal force. Okay. And if and only if this normal force and that of the force which is acting vertically downwards is equal, then only we can say that object is in a state of balancing condition. Okay. So here the value of kinetic friction is directly proportional to the reacting force or reaction force, that is the normal force. So we can form an equation. Kinetic friction Fk is directly proportional to whom? It is directly proportional to reaction force. Reaction force is normal to the surface of the object. So we can call it as normal force. It is represented by the letter N. Okay. Here also we are going to replace the proportionality sign by introducing a constant. Okay. Then our equation becomes Fk is equal to the same proportionality constant. Can you recall the proportionality constant, Valentina? Mu. Very good. It is mu, but here it is kinetic friction. So we can specify it by mu k. Okay, mu k into N. Kinetic friction Fk is equal to mu k N, where this mu k is known as, it is the constant of proportionality and it is known as coefficient of friction. Coefficient of which friction? Kinetic friction. Coefficient of kinetic friction. So the value of kinetic friction is always proportional to that of the normal force, that is the reaction force acting on the surface of the object. Fk proportional to N. In order to replace the proportionality sign, here we introduce a constant, that is what is known as mu k. It is known as the coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay, now the third law of kinetic friction. Here we have one more law, the third law. Kinetic friction is always less than static friction. Kinetic friction is always less than static friction. Okay, kinetic friction is always less than static friction. That is Fk less than Fs. Fk is less than Fs, or we can say the coefficient of kinetic friction Mk is also less than coefficient of static friction mu s. Fk is less than Fs or mu k is less than mu s. Coefficient of kinetic friction is less than coefficient of static friction. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the two types of kinetic friction. So these are about the basic ideas about the kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is a friction. Okay, we can recall all these points. After that, we can discuss the two different types of kinetic friction. Okay, so starting with John Philip, what do you mean by kinetic friction? John, it's not here, right? Okay, Thompson then.
Ma'am, kinetic
John.
friction is when arises when one object moves over the another object.
Okay, so kinetic friction is arises when one object moves over the surface of another object. Very good. Then Thompson, what are the characteristics of kinetic friction?
Kinetic friction is denoted by Fk and it resists the motion of a body over another.
Yes. Then the laws of kinetic friction, and Mary, laws of kinetic friction. First law of kinetic friction.
Kinetic friction is a constant and it depends on the nature of surface in contact.
Okay, and it is independent of what?
Area of the surface.
It independent of area of contact. Okay, analyze second law. Analyze CB, second law of kinetic friction. Unmute and say. Same question to Gaya.
The value of kinetic friction is directly proportional to the reacting force.
It is directly proportional to the reacting force. That is, Fk is directly proportional to reacting force is nothing. It is the normal force N. Fk proportional to N. In order to replace the proportionality sign, here we introduce a constant. What's that? Anaga. Fk is equal to mu k into N, where mu k is known as coefficient of friction. Okay. And what about the third law, Tushar? Third law. Devika Girish, third law of kinetic friction.
Kinetic friction is always less than static friction.
Kinetic friction is always less than static friction. Okay. So now we can discuss the two types of kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is basically classified into two. One is rolling friction. Other is one is rolling. The second one, any idea? Just guess, no problem. Rolling friction and the thing that you are heard from the smaller classes.
Sliding friction.
Sliding friction, rolling friction and sliding friction. If there is no response from you, then the class just seems like monotonous. That is why I'm asking and asking again and again. So don't be frustrated with that. So kinetic friction basically classified into two, rolling friction and sliding friction. Okay. Then what do you think? Can you define rolling friction? What do you mean by rolling friction? We know that the definition for kinetic friction, it is the frictional force arises when one body moves over the surface of another body. So depending upon how they are moved on the surface of another body, we are classify the kinetic friction into two, that is rolling friction and other is sliding friction. Then what do you think? What do you mean by rolling friction? Rolling friction is the frictional force when one body rolls over the surface of another body. Okay, so all of you write the definition for rolling friction. It is the frictional force rolling friction. It is the frictional force when one body rolls over the surface of another body. Okay, it is the frictional force when one body rolls over the surface of another body is known as rolling friction. So now you can form a definition for sliding friction. What do you mean by sliding friction then? Just similar to this definition, Anashwara Johnson, try to form a definition for sliding friction. Anashwara.
It is a frictional force when one body slides over the surface of another body.
Very good, excellent. It is the frictional force when one body slides over the surface of another body. It is the frictional force when one body slides over the surface of another body. Okay, so if the frictional forces arise when one body rolls over the surface of another body, we can call it as rolling friction. But instead of rolling, if one body slides over the surface of another body, then there is a frictional forces arises between these two bodies. Such a friction is known as sliding friction. And this rolling friction and sliding friction combined together known as kinetic friction. Or kinetic friction is basically classified into two, rolling and sliding. So this rolling plus sliding gives kinetic friction. Is it clear? Is there any doubt regarding with this kinetic friction, rolling friction and sliding friction? And another question sometimes you may be expected from this part is, which friction is greater? Static friction or kinetic friction? So according to the laws of kinetic friction, we know that static friction is greater than that of the kinetic friction, or kinetic friction is less than that of the static friction. Now we differentiate kinetic friction into two, rolling friction, sliding friction. Okay, so which friction is greater? Or write the all these three types of friction: static friction, rolling friction and sliding friction according to their increasing order or decreasing order. So what do you think? Which friction is greater out of these three? We have three friction. I will write here. One is static friction. Second one, rolling friction. And the third one that here we consider, it is nothing. It is the sliding friction. So here we have three frictions: static friction, rolling friction and sliding friction. Out of these three friction, which one is greater? Which one is greater?
Static.
It is static friction, right? So the first position goes to static friction, Fs. Fs is greater than. What about the second friction? Second time, is it is rolling or static? We may have a confusion between these two. Which one is the next? Yes, it is sliding friction, F sliding. Because it is easier to roll one object over the another object on the surface of over the surface of another object compared to that of sliding. Okay, so sliding friction is greater than rolling friction. This is the order. So static friction is the greatest friction. Static friction is greater than sliding friction, which is greater than rolling friction. So rolling friction is less, as compared to that of the sliding, because it is easy to roll one object over the surface of another object. This is the order. Okay. Is it over? Now, are you ready? Can we conduct a debate here? Topic is friction is a boon or curse. And the debate is between boys team and girls team. Are you ready? Okay. Then girls, what do you think, which topic you are choose? Is friction is a boon or friction is a curse? Anyone? Or I will give the opportunity to boys to select the topic. Okay, boys, you can select which topic you are prefer. Friction is a boon or friction is a curse? I think the class is not ready to conduct this debate, right? Anyone? Boon. Yes, Aditya? Okay. So boys team give the points regarding with the friction is a boon. So the topics for girls, you must give or you just oppose all the points come from the boys. Friction is a curse. Okay. Let us start the debate now. So starts from boys. You can present your first topic. Why you say the friction is a boon?
If it wasn't for friction, then we can't even be standing. So
Yes, Shabari?
if it wasn't for friction, then we can't stand or sit.
Yes, very good. Because if this force is not, we cannot walk or stand properly in the surface of the earth, right? Very good. Then girls, try to oppose it. Why you say the friction is a curse?
Friction also causes a lot of damages to wheels, soles
yeah.
of shoes,
Yes.
etc. Due
to this friction, it causes so many damages, the wear and tear and all. Okay, then boys. No other points. Yes, Vinayak. Vinayak is there ready to say something, right? Is there any other point is there? Why you are say the friction is a boon, Vinayak? John Joss,
Yes, ma'am.
why the friction is a boon?
Friction is what help the early man create fire.
Yes, it is because of the frictional force the early man create fire. Okay, then. Yeah, good points are comes from the boys' side. Girls? What are the other disadvantages of friction? Try to recollect the points. And okay, I think this debate is not going properly. So students, what do you think? This friction is a boon or curse? What about the conclusion of this topic? Friction is a boon or curse? Is it always a boon? Or is it always a curse? No, it's not always a boon or not always a curse. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so friction, as Shabari says, if there is no friction, we cannot walk. Okay, you just imagine if there is a world without friction, there is a tendency or we are slipping on through the road. Okay, and it is the frictional force which is help us to hold the objects in our hand. Otherwise, it slipped away from our hands. All these are some of the advantages of friction. Along with that, friction is also possess some limitation. As Malavika told, here it is because of friction, it causes there is a lot of energy loss occurs for the vehicles due to, and it causes damages in the form of wear and tear of tires and all. Then any other limitations? The loss of energy, it is the main limitation, or it is the main disadvantages caused by the friction. So let us have a look. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of the friction? So all of you write the next heading, advantages of friction, advantages and disadvantages of friction. Okay, advantages of friction. Friction helps in walking. Friction helps in walking. When we walk, we push the ground backwards with one foot according to the Newton's third law. You don't need to write the explanations and all, you just write the points. According to Newton's third law, we know that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what happens? This force is exerted on comparatively smaller mass, that is our foot. So acceleration is increases. Hence the other foot get accelerated. So if there is no friction, we will slip and can walk. Friction helps in walking. Friction helps in movement of automobiles. Friction helps in movement of automobile. And then it helps to hold the objects in our hand. Okay, it helps to hold the objects in our hand. These are some advantages of friction, which helps to walking, and it helps in the movement of automobiles. It helps to hold the objects in our hands. All these are advantages of friction. Then the disadvantages of friction. A good amount of useful energy is wasted as heat in various machine parts. A good amount of useful energy is wasted as heat in various machine parts. Which causes the wearing and tearing of the machines and the vehicles. Noise produced in machines as a result of this friction. And the third one, engines of automobiles consume more fuel because of this friction. So friction is a boon because of these, friction is a curse because of these disadvantages. So here we are discussing a debate based on the topic whether the friction is a boon or a curse. So here it poses some kind of disadvantages. A good amount of useful energy is wasted as heat in various machine parts. Noise produced in machines. Engines of automobiles consumes more fuel. Okay. All these are the disadvantages or the limitations of this entire phenomenon, friction, frictional force. Now the next topic, what are the methods that we can adopt in order to reduce this frictional force? The first one, use of lubricants. Lubricant means we are applying some kind of oil, grease, something like that over the surface of that moving body. Then we can, thereby we can reduce this frictional force. Use of lubricants. Application of oil or grease. Use of grease, use of lubricants, use of ball bearings. Ball bearings actually a particular type of structure that we can find inside the machines. Mainly we can find inside the machines a arrangement like this. Use of ball bearings. It is also helpful for reducing the friction. Ball bearings are kind of rolling elements that uses small freely rotating metal balls which reduce friction. Here you can see the definition for ball bearings. The structure of ball bearing something like this. A circular shape with the metal balls inside it. Okay. Ball bearings are kind of rolling elements that uses small freely rotating metal balls which reduce friction. We know that the rolling friction is actually very less as compared to that of the static friction and that of the sliding friction. It possesses a very less amount of friction. So if we are roll the surfaces or roll the objects over the surface of another, thereby we can reduce the amount of friction. So these are the different methods that we are used in order to reduce the friction. Is it over? So the topic friction is over. We start with the friction and we discuss the different types of, 3 different types of friction. Basically, it is classified into static friction and kinetic friction. Kinetic friction further divided into 2, that is rolling friction and sliding friction, and the laws associated with these 2 types of friction, static friction and that of the kinetic friction. And what about the advantages and disadvantages of friction, and the methods that we can use or adopt in order to reduce this frictional force. Is it clear? Okay. So Niranjan. What are the advantages of frictional force?
It helps us to stand, walk,
Okay.
to hold an object.
It helps to hold the objects. Okay, enough. Sanjana, disadvantages of friction?
Engines of automobiles consume more fuel.
Okay.
Noise produced in machines.
Yes.
A good amount of useful energy is wasted as heat in various machine parts.
All right. Then Irene, the methods that we can use in order to reduce this frictional force. What are the methods that we can adopt in order to reduce the amount of frictional force? Samia? Naureen? Any one method? Yes, application of lubricants. Then another method, align. Another method that we can use in order to overcome the frictional force. Yes, Rahul, use of grease. Okay, good. Then Devi Krishna, one more method.
Use of ball bearing.
Use of ball bearing. Then tell me what you mean by ball bearings.
They are kind of rolling element that we use for small freely rotating balls.
Okay, so these are some kind of circular shape with the metal balls are containing, and it is ability, or it is possess a kind of rolling of one body over the surface of another body, thereby it reduces the frictional force. So that's all about the topic friction. Now our next topic is circular motion. So all of you write the next topic, circular motion. That's the last topic of this lesson, circular motion. The circular motion is also not a new topic. We are discussed about the same circular motion in our previous chapters. So what do you mean by circular motion? The laws of motion we were discussed so many times, the definition about the circular motion. What do you mean by circular motion?
Motion of object along a circular path.
Yes, the motion of an object along a circular path. If the object is moving along a straight line path, we can call it as straight line motion. Then if the object is moving along a circular path, we can call it as circular motion. If it is a uniform circular motion, we know that the object covers or it is travels in equal speed. If the object is covers the circular path at equal speed, we can call it as uniform circular motion. Then what are the characteristics of uniform circular motion? Did you remember the characteristics? or the features of circular motion of an object? Some terms are constant, some physical quantities are constant in circular motion, and some physical quantities are varies.
Acceleration.
Uniform acceleration.
Yes, very good. It possesses a uniform acceleration. Possess uniform acceleration means it's a constant acceleration. Circular motion is possess a constant acceleration. Which quantity is constant in a circular motion? Which physical quantity is constant? Yes, Renil. Speed. The speed of an object remains constant in a circular motion. And which physical quantity varies? Velocity varies. The velocity of an object varies at each point of circular path. Okay, so we know that when an object follows a circular path, its velocity undergoes changes. So we can say the object is said to be accelerate. It possesses an acceleration. Okay, and that acceleration we call it by one name. Did you remember that name? If the object is moved, very good, excellent. That acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. Okay, children, now it's almost the time we can repeat the same topic in one more period today, the last hour. Okay.